Open your book to page 320. This is lesson 11.6, and this is to factor completely. That means you have to use combination of all these steps on the checklist. Make sure you go through the entire list. Okay, so let's go and do some examples. So example 1, you got 27x squared minus 12y squared. So step 1, common factor. So if you look at 27 and 12, okay, you should be able to factor out the 3. Now, if you're not sure, you do this. 27 and 12, you can factor out the 3, so it'd be 9 and 4, and that's it, right? So that's how you know you can factor out the 3. So factor out the 3, and so they can do the number, then the alphabet, and the group. So number 27 and 12, you can factor out the 3. Alphabet, x squared, y squared cannot, right? So you're going to get 9x squared minus 4y squared. So that's your step 1. So now you go to step 2. Okay, step 2. So step 2 is the special factor. When you got two terms, you check for difference of square. If it's difference of square, you do that, right? So this is a square, square minus square, square. So this is a step 2a. So step 2a, you get two sets of parentheses, right? So to get 9, you need to get 3 and 3, right? 3 times 3 give you 9. To get this, you need to get x and x, right? X and x give you x squared. This one is plus times minus give you minus. To get 4, you need to get 2 and 2. To get y squared, you get y and a y, and that's it. So this one uses step 1 and step 2a. So again, every problem you just go through the checklist. Every problem you go through the checklist. Okay, let's go to example 2. Example 2, you have 3x to the 3 minus 27x plus 5x squared minus 45. So first thing you need to do is make sure this is in the correct order. These two are in the wrong order, so you need to rearrange. Write this in the correct order, right? You have to go 3 power, 2 power, then 1 power, and then 0 power, right? And make sure the sign go with a long, sign is part of that term, so negative go with the 27. Okay, so now that's in the correct order, right? So now let's go and do step 1. Step 1, common factor. 3, 5, 27, 45. Cannot, okay? Okay, cannot factor any numbers and cannot do any variable because there's no variable. So that's step 1, right? Okay, so step 1 cannot. So you go to step 2. More than 3 terms, you have to do the grouping, right? So when you're doing the grouping, okay, you group the first two and you put a plus between the group, okay? So again, reminder, you always put a plus between the group, right? So you got negative 27x minus 45. Okay, so now you're ready to do the factoring. Okay, so when you're doing the factoring, again, remember you're gonna break down a big problem into 2 smaller problems, right? So let's focus on this part only, right? So this one you can factor out the x squared. So you're gonna get 3x plus 5. Okay, and you can double check, right? X times 3x x squared. So x squared times 3x give you 3x cubed. You see, that's why you want to double check. X squared times 5 is 5x squared, so that's fine. So now let's go and do this side. Okay, this over here. So whenever you start with a negative, you want to factor out a negative. And so you need to factor out a negative 9. So this becomes positive 3x, and this becomes plus 5. And double check, right? Negative 9 times 3x give you negative 27x. Negative 9 times positive give you negative, right? So 9 times 5. So make sure they all match, okay? So, you know, it's a good idea to spend the time to multiply to make sure you factor correctly. Okay, so now you can go and factor these and these, right? Notice you have the 3x plus 5, 3x plus 5, right? So go and factor it out. So you're going to get 3x plus 5. And then the leftover would be x squared minus 9, right? But whenever you see square, you have to keep checking, okay? And you have to recognize this, right? This is a square minus square. Okay, so you have to apply the step 2a again. So you have to recognize this. So whenever you see the square, you have to keep checking your steps. So you're going to get 3x plus 5. And from here, right, you're going to x squared minus 9. This one is your step 2a, right? So you're going to get x and x. And 3 and 3, right? So x times x is x squared, plus times minus is minus, 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, and so this will be your answer. So this is step 2c, okay, also the step 2a. So you have to kind of keep going through the list until you're done. So how do you know you're done? Well, when you don't see the square anywhere, then you know it's done for sure. But if there's a square, you have to keep checking to make sure that it's done completely. Okay, let's go to example 3. You have 5x squared plus 10x minus 40. So you can step 1, common factor, 5, 10, and 40, you can factor the 5. So you get x squared plus 2x minus 8. So that's your step 1. Then you go to step 2. Okay, step 2, 3 terms. Again, if you look over here, 3 terms, you check for the perfect squares. Okay, so this one is not a perfect square, so that's not it. So you go to step 3, cube, right? So you can look over here, step 3 is cube. So there's no cube, so you go to step 4, master product. So master product, so you're going to get 2, negative 8, right? So you can start with 1 comma, negative 8. Now you have to keep track of your sign. So 2 comma, negative 4, and again you can just switch that, right? So 4 comma, negative 2. So circle the correct combination, and so you're going to get 2 parentheses, so you're going to get x and x, right? X times x give you x squared, right? Now, when there's no number in front, it's very easy. Whatever you see, you just put down, right? So it'll be plus 4 minus 2, right? So again, this is the inside, there's the outside, right? So you can see over here, so that's your inside. 4 times 1 give you 4, 1 times negative 2 give you negative 2. Okay. And that's it for example 3. Okay, let's go to example 4 on page 321. You have a to the 4 minus b to the 4. So step 1, common factor, cannot. So step 2, special factors. When you have 2 terms, you do the check for the conjugate, right? Okay, check. So when you have difference of square, it becomes conjugates. So this is square. Anytime when you see the even exponent, it's a square. So right away, you're going to have plus, minus, right? So to get a to the 4, you're going to get a squared, right? A squared give you a to the 4. And plus times minus give you minus. And you need to get b squared times b squared, right? Okay, now notice there's a difference of square again. So you have to repeat. You have to keep doing it until you cannot do it anymore. You still have a squared minus b squared. Addition is done. Okay, when you see a plus, you cannot do it anymore. So you cannot factor that. So leave that alone. But this one, you can do it one more time. Right? So you're going to get a and a, right? A times a give you a squared. Plus times minus give you minus. B times b give you b squared. So for this one, you have to repeat the step 2a twice. Okay? So again, bottom line is for every problem, you just go through the list. Go through the list, okay? And apply those 4 steps and until it's all done. Okay? And this one, do not factor this. This is not factorable. Okay? You have to use only the difference of square can factor into this.